Okay, we're live. It's James speaking. If you've been watching YouTube, at least for me, I pay attention to a lot of the AI stuff. You've heard about this brand new open source AI tool called DeepSeek, and everyone is kind of fired up about it. So I was trying to figure out, why is it so important? Why are all these technical people jumping on it? And how does it apply to me? I just want to create courses, build a personally branded campus. I want to build an education business. I like all this video stuff. How does this AI stuff apply to me? So I want to take a couple minutes just going over why this is important, why all the technical people are getting flared up about it, and what we need to do as a course creator, as an education business owner, with all of this stuff that's happening so quickly. And I say quickly because just to give you a kind of the last 2 weeks for me, last 3 weeks as an example, we had the end of December, this cool stuff with multimodal came available so that you can actually have an AI tool that sees what's in the video, listens to you, that kind of stuff from Google Gemini. A couple other things came out, and then all of a sudden last week, this thing called DeepSeek comes out of China. No one really knew about it, and it is open source. It's free, so it's not some big, huge company in OpenAI. It's just something they're giving away the software for it. So that's kind of the first thing. People are going, what the heck's going on? Where did it come from and how come it came so quickly? And even the speed of that changed again, because that was on Friday. I think they announced this new software, this new AI tool. But they came out yesterday or today with a multimodal version of it, just like the Google Gemini, and also an image generator. So there's all of these other things happening, and that's happened in a week. So stuff is happening quickly. I've been trying to say that on this. So how does this apply to us, and what changes in DeepSeek are really going to make a big difference for us 3 months from now, 6 months from now, if you're creating online courses, video tutorials, all of that stuff, and you want to keep up to speed on it? Because I look at this as a long-term kind of play. So you kind of have to figure out, where am I going to fit into this? Am I just going to sell one course and kind of sell it the old way and see if I can do something? Or do you want to build an education business and get really good at sharing your passion with other people, building an audience, having members, and building people that you can really help do what they want to do and teach what they want to teach? So DeepSeek is here. I've got the example for you to take a look at. It's deepseek.com. Pretty straightforward stuff. You can go and look through here. There's all sorts of technical stuff. Don't really need to know about it. What they do have is they do have a version that you can put on your phone to get started. And if I'm not mistaken, one of these buttons goes to like a normal ChatGPT one, where you can work on it and interface with it on the website. And the real technical people, what they're doing, what you'll see in the other videos around, is that they're actually downloading a version of it and putting it on their computer at their place of work, or in their home office. So here's the big things that you need to know about when it comes to DeepSeek and the differences on how it makes. And the big one that everyone is flipping out about is that the way that ChatGPT is trained, or Claude, or any of the other tools that we've been looking at. I'll give you an example here. If I go and I take a look at this prompt here, and this is ChatGPT, and I say, generate a comprehensive outline for a 12-week video course on starting, building, and growing an education business that sells courses including key learning objectives, video topics, and supplementary materials for each module. So there's a big prompt, mega prompt. Here's what I want you to do. The way that ChatGPT and these tools work is, previously, someone did a whole bunch of training and connected these huge amounts of data. And when I do a prompt here, it's going and searching through all that data, piecing something together, and then spitting it out. And in this case, it just spit out my plan here. There's the modules, that kind of stuff. And that's what we've been asking for. We get really good at prompts. We do all this fancy stuff to get the right kind of prompt, and it spits out something, and then lazy people just go and call it a course. Other people use it to create scripts and expand on it, but you get the idea. It only works on what it's been trained on using. The cool thing that's happening with DeepSeek, this other tool, is the way that this one works is it does something called chain of thought reasoning. And what that means to you and me is it's not only trained on something that was a data set, it also can learn from the interactions that the prompts and you and the questions it asks itself bring answers to. So it is a self-learning data set. So it's not limited to what it's been trained on. It starts with some training and then it starts adding stuff on its own based on the interactions it's had with you throughout all of the different prompts and works that you've done. So this is kind of that next step between train something or have it trained and have it learned on its own. So I'll give the example is, when you're teaching, it's like you can just say, here's the answer, here's the content. This particular one works like this. Here's some content, here's some options to you. If you try this one, this might happen. And if you try that one, that might happen. Here's some options on the questions that I'm asking. Here's coming to the options that I got back and the answers that I got back. And this is why I think this is the best way to go. That's completely different than spitting something out. That actually shows the questions, the options, and the kind of proof of why you did something. And most people think of that, for example, like math and sciences and stuff like that, where it's, you kind of ask it to do something, it shows you the options and tell you this is the best way to do it. But I think we can use that asking the same questions that I just did in that other prompt, and then having it where it's going to actually spit this out in more detail, and it's also going to learn from the way that we answer it, the prompts that we give, in all of the additional work that it does. And you can start to see how this reasoning works. I'll show you a quick way of doing it. If I go, for example, to Perplexity, and I'll open up a new thread here. Perplexity is a search engine. It's a meta search engine or an AI search engine. And if you haven't played around with this, I have a number of videos on it, but it's perplexity.ai. Perplexity, what it does is it searches everywhere, and then it gives you basically a summary based on all of the searches it made so that you don't have to search each of them individually. So it's a really cool tool that I use instead of using Google search now. But the thing that they've allowed for free users of Perplexity is when you go to do a search, you also have the option of adding or using the R1 DeepSeek model as a way to reason the answers. So this is an AI tool in between for Perplexity, just giving a summary, but it actually shows you how come it came up with those summaries and what the most important parts are that it based that particular decision on. So this is the first time I've seen this. I think it came out yesterday with Perplexity. You get 3 searches a day, but you can certainly take a look and see the reasoning and how it works. And then just think about, okay, great. If I'm creating a course with those 12 lessons and the workout plans and all that additional stuff, how did it come up with the answer? What questions was it considering when it did that? What is the workflow that it went through when it actually answered it? This is the cool thing that's happening with DeepSeek that isn't available right now with ChatGPT. So that idea of reinforced learning, trial and error, not available in ChatGPT. It's available in DeepSeek, and that's the one that's kind of scaring people, I think, the big one. So we've got all this advanced reasoning stuff, chain of thought. What's the next one that's really cool? I have been talking about for I don't know how long now, the last couple months, about how we have to capture, as educators, course creators, we have to capture all of our digital exhaust and keep that archive of our stuff in if we want to create better courses, be more authentic, all of the pieces that you would want, I hope, if you're creating courses and you're serious about teaching stuff. So having said that, if I'm using ChatGPT and it's been trained with a whole bunch of data, what I'm doing is every time I make a prompt on ChatGPT, I'm going out to ChatGPT and I'm looking at their data. The way that DeepSeek works is because it's open source and it's free, you can download it now and put it on your computer in your office, and it doesn't have to go out to the internet to do that. It doesn't have to go out to the big models or the big data sets that all of the other companies have been using to train it. So this is something that you can run locally in your office, in your business, in your home, and it's working from a basic data set, but you can start to train it and ask stuff that maybe you wouldn't ask because it's public, or maybe it's proprietary or something that you don't want to share online. It's now available for you on your own machine that you're actually in control of. And so it doesn't require any fancy stuff. It runs on your own hardware. And in fact, I was watching CES, a consumer electronics show, in the beginning of the year in January, the first week of January. And NVIDIA, which is one of the companies that makes all of these fancy chips that run all of these AI engines, they actually said that I think in February, they're going to have a box that is basically a computer for running AI models. And I think they quoted $599. So can you imagine you got a $599 AI tool sitting on your desk? So that's why a lot of technical people are getting flipped out about it. I'm excited about it because I now have something that I can keep in-house with all of my library of all of the stuff that I've created and have any of the responses that I made based on my stuff, my authentic me, without hallucinating and spending all this time trying to figure out what's real and what's not real. So you can get a couple prompts to play around to see the reasoning on it at Perplexity. When you start seeing this work, it's kind of cool because it's like you can see it kind of thinking, going through all of this, and it actually shows you on the screen. So we don't need hardware. It's open source. We can run it locally. It also includes search. So some of the other tools right now, like last time I looked at Claude, I can't go and search the internet. I can give it some resources for context, but it doesn't go out and search. This one, again, searches already, so it's got live internet access if you need to consider or add content that is external from what's inside. So these are the big differences that are happening with this tool called DeepSeek. What is it going to mean to us? Well, as we get going on this again, the answers that we get back are not going to be regurgitated. They're going to be reasoned out by tools like this, and we'll be able to help with that reasoning and get clarifications on why it gave us the answer that it did, and interface back and say, hey, why did you think of it this way? Or what about if you applied this way? But you saw what it's thinking. You're not guessing. It's there for you to play around with. This is an exciting time for all of this AI stuff. I've been trying to, I'm paying attention to it as fast as I can as applies to teachers and course creators and stuff. And I firmly believe that these kind of tools are not going to go away. They're going to come sooner rather than later. So if you're considering building an education business, if you're thinking about creating videos and you want to teach or take this as a business and not just sell a course online, you got to at least pay attention because the cool stuff's happening. It's coming quickly, and it applies to you. It doesn't apply to someone else. It applies to you. And if you're not going to use it, the competitors or the other people that are making content are going to be using it. So my name is James. It's trainingsites.io. I create these videos all the time. I know this particular one wasn't overly technical how to do something, but I wanted to talk about it because it is the next step as we get to all of these agents and these fancy things that are running on our own computer, on our own machines, in our own office. So my name is James. Make sure to visit trainingsites.io/join. Like these videos or any of the videos, like and subscribe. Give me a like. That would be wonderful. And we'll see you again tomorrow. And I create another video to help you start, build, and grow your education business. Take care. Expect the best.